What up, Buttercup? So I'm just gonna wait just another minute or two. Oh, all right. I got a donation, so somebody's coming. Hello, hello. Come on over and say hello when you get here. So I know you're here. I have a song playing loudly in my head. So if I start singing it, forgive me. I hope it's from my twin flame, but I really don't know. It's a good song though. So while we're waiting just a little bit, I'm going to open up the energy. I've already set my intention. I have a candle burning right over here. And I will do some Palo Santo. Palo Santo. And now my phone goes off. So I gotta turn that down also. Forgive. Goodness, what up, Gigi? Ooh, Gigi, I got some good stuff to tell you. Oh my. About the workshop for the shadow work. Ole bajole. So somebody I know saw it too. It was crazy. It's crazy. She's like, oh man, I'll fill you in a minute. I was like, whoa. But also, a Japan volcano just erupted like a half an hour ago. And the fire in Yosemite is about 14,000 acres now. Lots of homes burned down. And it's very relevant because I caused it. Okay, you're going to see that in a minute. So when they say it is Judgment Day, my friends, it is a Judgment Day. Okay. Gigi, I see you. I got your donation. So you will be first up. Okay. Go ahead and start playing this just for a moment. Oh, it's really hard with this song in my head. I mean, it's not a bad song. Not like that one day. All right. Honestly, I hope this irritates the people around me. Let's invoke your spirit. My forehead has been tingling off the charts today. Off the charts. All right. So hello, everybody. It is me, Juniper Bloom Mystique. I am not normal. I am an ascension master, master healer, and divine guide. It's funny too because I had my friend today. I'm like, ask spirit who I am. She's like, okay. she didn't get one title, but what she got was pretty intense, and it explains everything that I've done. So I bring chaos in order to create new birth, right? Like I destroy everything for you to see your highest potential and have you rebirth it. I'm like, yeah, that makes about good sense. So I am an ascension master. I am the one who brought about the ascension. What does that mean? Finally, people are actually looking at my playlist, pyramid activations, rising of Jesus, all that kind of stuff, right? There was a lot of stuff in there. And so I'm really happy it's finally actually had some people looking at what that means. Good job, you people. Good job. Because that's the one thing that bothers me the most is that humanity is so into instant gratification, right? I will give you 5 seconds of my time. And if you don't say what I want to hear, I'm out. But you miss a lot of crucial stuff, okay? So I'm going to really quickly give you the channeled message from Athena because it's very important, you guys, and it deals with what I'm about to tell you before I get into doing messages. Because today, truly, I want it to be about some messages and some fun. And I'm going to start out with a little heavy information, then we're going to go into some fun, okay? What up, Jacinth? I'm so happy to see you. Jacinth, you missed what happened over the weekend with the shadow workshop, so just wait till you hear it because you're familiar with the work I do. And so this is going to be like, oh shit, right? Oh shit. Oh, shit. I've been kind of talking about it, but more full circle moments have been occurring for me since I did this workshop over the weekend. The workshop I'm referring to is Hidden in the Shadows. Hi, Sherry. Sherry did that workshop. So I've got some news for you all, okay? But this is just Athena's channeled message for the collective whole. I think Gigi heard this one yesterday, so no big deal. But she wants me to read it, okay? And I channel these sometimes either live for you or write them down. But this was yesterday. I did a Facebook thing. You are amongst a great warrior. And she is talking about me. I don't like it when they do that, but I got to tell you what she says because it's relevant for all of you. Who has managed to cleanse this planet all on her own. And I did. She stood strong. So let me start that again. She stood strong against all odds to help all of you, while most stood by mocking her and judging her too. Judgment Day is actually upon you. The question is, are you ready for what's about to come for all of you? It's a dawn of a new day. Okay. And that's what Spirit keeps telling me. I'm like, Spirit, why is this not working out for me? And they just keep saying it's a dawn of a new day. Okay. Yeah, so Jacinth wants to hear more in detail. So over this last weekend with my twin flame journey, I fought really, really, really hard for him, for me, and for the collective whole, right? For all the twin flames, for everything. I just never gave up. The love I felt for him in truth is why I never gave up. I kept going, I kept going, I kept going. And it didn't matter what pain came my way. I kept going, I kept going, I kept going, okay? And Spirit kept having me call back my power, call back my power. And so I was doing it the whole time. And even on Facebook, I went on and tried to talk about the shadow side, okay? And I was attacked. This keeps happening to me, okay? So I pulled my power back. Those videos are up on my page for people to see. Pulled my power back. And each time I did, like they were like in awe and they would get more quiet. And I had no idea what was coming, okay? And that whole time I was creating a course that Spirit had me creating. Now I know why. It was Hidden in the Shadows. Okay, every course that I do also has a guided meditation, okay, that heal in those things, okay, from the masters, from the gods, from myself. I do them as well. I'm not just a channel. I am a master healer, okay? So I'm creating this course, Hidden in the Shadows, and then something was trying to tell me not to do it, and so I put it aside for a minute, and it was backing up, okay? So finally, I'm like, I've got to do this course. And like my twin flame and I were going through some stuff and I just felt like I had to heal him. Like it was intense. Like I had to heal him. And I think he let me do so, at least a little bit, right? And it was beautiful. Very, very much needed for the both of us. It filled my heart, right? In that time zone, I'm like, I've got to finish this Hidden in the Shadows course. And I got chills. They all are relevant together, okay? Again, if you don't know me, I'm an Ascension Master, Master Healer. I am the one who brought about the Ascension. The final part of that is reuniting the twin flames, Return of Christ. These are different twin flames. These are not every twin flame you hear about, right? Steve's Love Tarot is on this cycle. He's actually tuned into these twin flames. Although I can't watch him so much anymore because I don't want my emotions involved in it like that anymore. I'm like, I gotta step back. But he is tuned into it. Regardless, I had to do the Hidden in the Shadows workshop, okay? Now, these ladies that are with me, all except for Jacinth, Sherry and Gigi, went to that workshop, okay? There's a reason I'm talking about this. By the way, somebody else saw the work I did too, Minka. She saw it, which was crazy. She saw the souls I pulled out. So we went into the guided meditation parts of the course. It was a 4-day course. There were 2 days of meditations. The first one was on the 21st, 3 days ago. Okay. This is the one where I went in and I removed the collective shadow. This is big, okay, because there are 2 parts to the shadow. There's a collective and an individual. And every single person on this planet has both in them. You're born into that collective shadow. You don't have a choice if you're born here. Since the beginning of time, because that was from Atlantis falling and all that nonsense, okay? I also rose Atlantis, blah, 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 blah. It's all on my channel. Oh, the song is playing in my head. I may end up singing it throughout. But Here's the thing. On the 21st, when I went into day one, now tell me if you guys remember this. I know Gigi did, but there's more to it, okay? On the 21st, when I went in to remove the collective shadow, I never know what's coming in these. They just come through. And I channeled God. He came through. Next thing I knew, I was saying something that God was saying, and I do remember it was as above, so below, okay? Then I remember we went into a hidden tunnel in the ground, in the earth. Hidden tunnel to a hidden pocket. This is recorded, but I'm not going to post it for you guys to see. The only way you're going to see this one is if you take that course, because you're going to have to deal with your shadow. Okay, it's not a joke. The whole entire planet is now going to be met with their shadow in a very big way. But I went into that pocket. Okay, if you guys remember this, it's a big deal. Jacinth won't, because she didn't do this one. In this pocket, there were a lot of souls, a lot of bodies, though, not just souls. It was all these souls, and they were kind of like in this circle. It was like a dome, like in the ground. And all of a sudden, I'm like, I start freeing those souls like I do. But these were trapped souls. The whole soul, 1111, was trapped. Where usually it's just fragments of a soul. So if we die in trauma, things like that, we will have pieces trapped here. Like when Atlantis fell, I signed a contract and a big piece of my soul was trapped here. I was pissed. Which is part of what I've corrected in this lifetime. Okay. Now, I know it sounds crazy, but it's all proven. If you want to see it, purchase that course. If you want to heal your shadow, then there you go. Okay. So it's witnessed, it's recorded, just like everything else I do. But as I was in there and I started releasing these souls, just like I always do, right? God gave me a specific scroll, a different one than one I've already have. I have quite a few scrolls in me. I even got to give my twin flame some scrolls, by the way. He has a couple in there. He's got a purpose or two still left, by the way. This gives me hope. But I was removing those souls. Now, the next thing I saw, okay, and this has to do with El Diablo. I can't help but say it that way. That's the way it was reiterated to me. It's El Diablo. The devil, okay? El Diablo. And I'm so white, I can't even usually speak that way, 1222, but it was El Diablo. And I'm freeing these souls, and I'm realizing the whole entire soul is trapped. Now, this is sick, okay? And this is part of what is going to come out in the collective whole in a very fast, very soon. Y'all are about to go up in flames, like in a very big way around here. It's about to be destruction so that we can rebuild. It's not a joke, okay? And y'all are going to have to deal with your shadow, all right? Those that took that course are going to have a much easier time. They're already processing it. They're already healing it. But the whole rest of the population is going to be smack dab in the face with the shadow. It's a big deal. It's a very big deal, okay? So you have to be ready, because if you're not ready to face the shadow will win, my friends. It's very powerful. The collective shadow has never been touched before. It's never been eradicated from this planet until now, okay? It has now. So as I'm freeing those souls, I see one particular soul, and he's walking around, and the soul didn't belong to him, okay? And I'm watching that, and I'm like, this is not his soul, 1333. And so I had to do something I don't like to do. And I literally killed this person. I had to rip the soul out of this skin suit, and the whole skin suit fell. It like, bleh. And what's weird is my friend saw this in a dream that night. She saw all the souls, and then she saw the skin suit fall, and then she saw the fire. Okay. So right after I did that, and I removed the soul and the skin suit fell, I heard El Diablo. And I saw him being a puppet master. So what he was doing is he was using these souls somehow. I don't deal with black magic. I don't do this shit. I'm clearing it. And he was literally using them to fuck with the whole entire population, especially the presidency. So after that, I started removing blood from the earth. It was like, and it was rising to the sky. And it had to do with our military and the presidency and El Diablo. Okay. I say it this way because that's the way it came through, y'all. Okay. It's a big fucking deal, and you better prepare. It's already occurring in your world, and I'm going to show you how. And tell me, you guys, you don't remember this, okay? Because it all came to me full circle afterwards. 1444. Lots of synchronicities in this damn video. This is a quick story, though. I'm going to get into it, tell you guys what's coming, and then we'll get to some messages, because I know Gigi donated, and I'm just ready to do so. However, that's when the scroll that God gave me came in. Okay. As soon as I cleared that pocket in the earth and I killed El Diablo, I removed that soul. Okay. He stole the soul. It was not his soul, but he is literally a puppeteer. And then I saw the presidency and how they were being puppetized and all this. It's like so much fucking control. And then ego came in. Ego is part of this. Okay. Ego is not normal. It is not our given right. It is not normally a part of ourselves. Carl Jung talks about this. I have that all in the course as well, and how to deal with it. But then I went into, after channeled from God and he gave me the scroll, I started reading that scroll. And the way I read them, it's not like I can read them. It's a foreign language, but I surrendered to it and it just starts flowing. And then I can see images of what I'm reading. Okay. And that's what started happening. I told the earth she had to cleanse this. It had to be purged. It was 1555 when I said that. And then I saw a fire start, boom, like just up into the trees, boom, from the ground up. And that's Yosemite. It literally did start on fire within hours after this. It's on fire. It's not normal. You can actually look it up because I did. Right now it's at about 14,000 acres. Whole bunch of houses have burned down. It's right outside of Yosemite. I guarantee you this pocket of earth where El Diablo was in there, right underneath where that fire started. I put my life on it. Okay. I didn't expect it to be real. Like when I heard the fire, I'm like, oh my God, this really fucking happened. Like, and I shouldn't be shocked by now by the work that I do. Okay. But the fire started. And it is fast moving fire near Yosemite, forces thousands to evacuate. This was an hour ago. 14,000 acres now, homes destroyed. They kept saying that it's called the Washburn fire, I guess. And it started on the 22nd. And I did the work on the 21st. Okay. That was not the only thing that came through. After I saw the fire go up in my meditation, it's all there for you guys to see. Gigi says, I remember. Okay. Like I said, she's going to purge this out. The earth is done housing any negativity. It's all cleared. It is all cleared. It's not a joke, you guys. Then I read that scroll again and she pixelated. I moved her. Okay. Not only is that fire occurring, here's the next thing that happened. Volcanoes were erupting, and one in Japan just erupted a half an hour ago. I see others coming into play too. And then they mentioned Etna again, which I already know erupted once because of what I did, but something else is going to happen there too, I think. Okay. Not only that, I pixelated the earth and I moved her around. The whole earth structure is about to change. The map, you know, it's not going to be the same. And I've already told you guys, I cut off California a long time ago. So if you think that Yosemite fire is going to go out in a day, you're wrong. It's just a precursor is also what Spirit is saying. She is purging this shit. She is getting rid of it. Then I cracked the earth. Whoosh, a big old crack, you guys. Not a little crack. 1818. A really big crack. Now, here's the thing. I wanted to heal it. I'm like, oh, shit. I just caused a crack. Let me heal that. They didn't let me heal it. I was not allowed to heal that crack. Okay. And then Spirit said, you have no idea how big this is. And I didn't at first, except for now I know I completely eradicated the collective shadow. It's gone. Still on the surface. But let's just say it's starting to burn up. Okay. It's going to go up in flames. It's going to split in two. It's going to just explode. And it's already happening. So within hours, the fire actually did occur. And I guarantee you it's in California where I cleansed El Diablo. No joke, no coincidences. If you watch all my work, you're going to be like, holy shit. The shit's real. And it's on its way for you. Okay. And then they said, Judgment Day is upon you. I've already been through mine, and so is my twin flame. Thank God. Because it's not exactly fun, 1919. But Judgment Day is upon everybody, right? No, not necessarily just you guys. Yeah, I'll look up 1818 in a minute because that's curious, right? Every time those numbers come through, I will definitely look that up. It probably has meaning to what I was saying. We'll look that up in just a minute. Now in Japan, there was something else I did in that workshop, which I have to talk about. And it dealt with the pyramid in Thailand, right? The pyramid in Thailand, was that one? Okay, I think it was this one. It might have been my monthly membership because we did that the next day, I think. But Japan, the pyramid there, I had to deface it because people didn't know it was a pyramid. And that's relevant. I have to tell you guys that. All right, so the fire in Yosemite came from the work I did. Now we had a volcano erupt 30 minutes ago in Japan. And then I defaced the pyramid in Thailand. I don't know why they want me to say that. Okay. If you think, how do I say this? Like, it's not. Another thing they want me to tell you I did was sped up the ascension at least 2 times. Yeah, this is really big. Because remember, I wasn't even supposed to make it here. And I took us into 7D and beyond, not 5D. We're going into 7D and beyond. Okay. But so the gate into the ascension narrowed. You have to do more now to get through. If you're not willing to heal your shadow, you're in trouble. Okay. And healing a shadow is not exactly easy to do. 2111, 2112. I've been healing mine, my twin flames, and now I've done the whole collective whole. So there's, again, 2 parts to it. And if you're not ready for it, the shadow will win. And you cannot beat the shadow with the shadow. That's all I can give you guys right now. If you want more, take that course. If you take that course, the meditations will start to heal your shadow anyways. You'll be good to go. Regardless, you're going to have to meet your shadow. The whole entire population is about to be faced with their shadow. Not only that, I sped up time, like we reversed time, but we sped up the ascension. The gate through narrowed. Okay, you're going to have to do more to get through. Judgment Day is upon everybody right now. What is Judgment Day? I've talked about that. It's karma. You reap what you sow, and they measure your heart space. God doesn't judge like the Bible tells you he does. He does not. It's about what's in your heart. Okay, 2202. Also, what happened, and I'm going to explain this because they want me to really quick, is I've done like removal of the fear sometimes, of the fear body, 2212, lots of 222s, where I started unzipping it from the feet and we walk out of a skin suit, right? Well, 2222. I did that twice, I think, for the earth that day too. She is being reborn. The phoenix rose from the earth, okay? So she is literally being reborn, and the surface of her is not going to remain the same. And I can't tell you enough how I've cut off California from life support. I've been saying that for 2 years. We cleared Mount Shasta. That's in my video playlist. And now the Earth's root chakra is Fiji, and we upgraded that one on the 22nd. Okay. 222. Holy shit, that's my twin flame and my number, and it is like smacking me in the face. I love it though. The fact that I saw the fire go boom, and I told the earth to purge this. I told the earth to cleanse this in God's scroll. This was God's language, okay? And I saw it happening, and I said the fire just erupted. And then I said I cracked her in half, and they wouldn't let me heal that though. And then I also said volcanoes are going to erupt. And it's all happening within days of this one. This one is so big. And I sped up the ascension, 2333. There is no more time left to be wishy-washy, to be in judgment, to be in fear, to be living in your ego, or it's going to hurt you. Okay? You need to be able to listen to your body, because if something inside of you tells you to get the fuck out from where you're at, you need to go. And it's not a joke. You are currently in the final days of our ways. Okay. So if you're not willing to rise out of those, and it's not going to be easy, my friends, because this was very big, and I've been hurt so many times. Jacinthe can validate that. Amy H can. She's not here. They are my graduates. They've had to heal me through this several times over because I've been attacked and attacked and attacked, and I've almost died. I really have. And my heart is still suffering right now, hoping that gets fixed soon. It's a big deal. I don't know what else to tell you guys. Okay. But that's why I did the Hidden in the Shadows course. I'm the only one who can eradicate the collective shadow. The only one. Now, my friend, Ninka, she's not here, so I don't know if I should be using her name. She came through an academy with me, and I hang out with her sometimes. We do like art days, and we just talk and shoot the shit and do messages for each other. But she was talking to me today, and she's like, so I had a really weird dream the other night. And I'm like, oh, do tell, because she gets a lot of stuff in her dreams. And she's like, I was sitting in this tunnel, and I saw all these bodies. And then I saw this one body, and my guide was telling me, oh my God. And she was like, hold on, we need to watch. And she said that all of a sudden that skin suit went, and my guide said, a fire, and they had to get out. And I'm like, Ninka, you just saw what I did. And then I described to her my workshop, and she's like, oh my God. She's like, what does that mean? I said, this is the end of days. I've completed all the steps. You are currently in the end of days, the end of ways, and the earth is going to move in such a way where it's already happening. The fire in Yosemite started hours. I guarantee you, if you fucking dig under that place, you're going to find the tunnel I did. It's real. Okay. It is such a like, oh my God moment. Spirit was right. I didn't realize how big this was. Okay. Yeah, so Justine says, can you reiterate the channeled message you read to us at the beginning of this live? My volume went wonky just as you were delivering that message. Absolutely. So it's from Athena, and most of this message is kind of for the people on Facebook because I was getting attacked there. I don't get attacked here. Okay, so when she says a certain part of this, I just don't want you guys taking that personal here. But she says, you are amongst a great warrior, and she was talking about me, who has managed to cleanse this planet all on her own. She stood strong, I can't talk, against all odds to help all of you. While most stood by, mocking her and judging her too. Then she says, Judgment Day is actively upon you. Then she says, the question is, are you ready for what's about to come for all of you? It is a dawn of a new day. Okay. And that was from Goddess Athena. This is very huge. This is big. This is balls to the wall. Like when I first got my divorce from my ex-husband, who was very, very, very abusive, controlled me, I got those pink fuzzy balls. And this is just reminding me of that. I have met all my marks just since. I absolutely did. Actually, and then some, because I thought I was going to die. I was supposed to die. So I did it, but I also sped up the ascension. So what they're saying is this is the final days for those that can't go. And in order to ascend now, where this didn't happen before now, is you have to heal your shadow. Thank you. Your shadow is about to meet you. Your individual and the collective shadow is going to smack the whole entire world in the face because it has to rise. And the more people that choose to heal it, now keep in mind, you're not going to be able to just go to some shaman and do individual shadow work. That's not going to help you. You have to heal the collective and individual shadow within yourself. How do you do that? I did guided meditations for it. I'm not here to tell you how. If you want to know how, I have the course. That's why I did it that way. And that's why Spirit said, if people want it, they'll get it. Because you're going to have to meet your shadow. And if you're not ready to, the shadow will win. You can't fight shadow with shadow. You cannot fight it with what you created it with. And we were all, so this is another part of it. The ego is part of the shadow. It is not a normal concept for humankind. Everybody thinks it's part of our mind, right? It's not. That was part of El Diablo. It was. That came out in the workshop. So ego is being eliminated in a big way because I did that as well. Okay. So a lot of people are being met with their ego right now in order to eliminate it. A lot of people are going to be met with their shadow right now in order to eliminate it. You don't have a choice. And if you're not willing to do that, I don't know what's going to happen. It might get a little clunky for you. Now, if your heart's in the right place and you're battling through it, I'm sure you'll be all right, right? As long as you're accepting it, but it's not going to be easy. It's painful, it's heavy, and it's a lot to acknowledge and understand. This includes every bit of darkness from this planet, you guys. It's about to be smack dab in everybody's face. You can purchase this workshop and watch that meditation. And I specifically said the fire. And it happened exactly the way Yosemite happened, which was in hours. Coincidence it's in California? No. No, I cut off life support from California 2 years ago. It is black in the map of the earth. Then a big crack happened and they wouldn't let me fix that crack. Then they mentioned Mount Etna, which I think was just my way of saying, oh, volcanoes are going to erupt all over the earth. And today the one in Japan just did about a half an hour ago. There's more to come. The earth is also being tested, but she has to purge all that. She has to move around and restructure because of those empty pockets from where all the darkness was. It's like the blood rose up, right? I told you all the bloodshed from the presidency and stuff. I cleansed that and it was rising up. And that's when we told the earth she had to like whoosh and move and cleanse and purge. Okay. Now I'm going to look up 1818. Oh, so it means success, achievement, and growth will be bestowed upon you. So what I actually was told from God is to stay in balance because I have God's mercy coming my way. Oh, holy shit. You guys want to know what 1818 means? If you and your twin flame are currently apart, you could be a sign that you'll soon be back together. I'll take that one with all the twos. I'm hoping. You want to know what song I have in my head? Still the one I run to, the one that I belong to, still the one I kiss goodnight. Looks like we've made it. Look how far we've come, my baby. Might have took the long way. We knew we'd get there someday. They said, I bet they'll never make it, but just look at them going strong. That's like really loud in my head, accompanied with all the twos and the 1818. I'm thinking that might be what it is. I will hold space for that. I'd be the happiest person in the world. I'm not going to lie. If my twin flame showed up here, I'd be the happiest person in the world. That is all I need left. But that's the song playing in my head, and I feel like that's about me and my twin flame. What a good song, right? And 1818 really represents that we will soon be together. Cross our fingers. Yeah. Gigi, are you still with me? You donated for a reading. Does anybody else have any questions on what Judgment Day is? What I did with removing the collective shadow? I know, right, Jacinth? That song. Who is that song by? Still together, still holding on, still the one I run to. But the part that really sticks out is, looks like we've made it. Look how far we've come, my baby. Might have took the long way. We knew we'd get there someday. They said, I bet they'll never make it, but just look at them going strong. Yeah, that part. I could cry. That's been playing in my head all day. And the funny thing is it wasn't until after this morning. And I asked questions this morning. So I will take it. All right, Gigi. Do you have a particular question or do you want it a general? And my forehead has been tingling like a crazy. The crazy thing to me, aw, thank you, Jacinth. I have a beautiful singing voice, she says. You want to know what's funny about that? Is when I was a kid, I wanted to be a singer. I was in choir. I was teaching how to sing. Like it was a big deal to me, 34, 44. You want to know what next music I have coming out the Spirit wants me to do too? Is light language mantras. So I have to sing again. So maybe that's a part of it, right? Maybe that has always been my purpose, just in a different way. My grandma told me don't quit my day job when I told her I wanted to be a singer in middle school. But I was like teaching my friends how to sing. I was all into singing. So thank you for that. And then like I have my own song that I really want to make into my theme song. Do you guys remember that one? I wrote it. And it's about shining light into the darkness, but I can't get this song out of my head. It's very loud in my head. Looks like we made it. It's overpowering everything else. All right, Gigi wants a general. Gigi, I know you didn't do the 44 donation, but they actually want me to give you a particular light language for yourself. And this one is from Goddess. No, Saint Genevieve. Would you like that? Are you okay with that? I can do a little bit of personal light language for you. This has to do with your physical vessel and your chakra system. Okay. They want to upgrade your physical vessel with this light language. Okay. So I'm burping already. Also, what's funny is I couldn't sing until recently again. So maybe my joy is coming back. All right. This is crazy. She handed me a scroll, okay, and it's pink. So I want you to also consider the fact, Gigi, that you are a goddess. I don't know why that concept is hard for you. But that's what she's saying is you don't like to accept the term goddess. You've accepted your angel wings, but you don't like to accept the term goddess because you don't feel like you are owning up to that. That's part of your message, okay? Part of. This song is battling me. Hang on. The chills. This your sacral specifically right now? And your liver and kidneys and lungs. Yeah, I do. All right. So that was definitely some healing, but also to support those organs through the transitional phases. Because the energy is incredibly high on this planet because of the work I did. It's incredibly high. And so if we are not quite prepared to transition through them, we can get ill. Okay. And the best way through that is to be able to let in as much light into your system as possible. Okay. Also, this week, stay out of your head. Part of the shadow surfacing for everybody is it will attack you in your mind. That's also the ego. Okay. And it's going to purge in layers 1, 2. Okay. She says she felt it. That's amazing. It's the first time I got to do personal ones like that. So thank you for letting me do that. She felt it. I love it. The funny thing is I was like running light through you too. I was like, that's what my hands were. I'm like, whoa, it was beautiful. That was fun. And now they want me to do a light language mantra for my next healing music. So It's battling that song, Still Together. So I was hearing both in my head at the same time. I'm like, shh, tune one down, turn the volume down. All right, Gigi, we're not done with your message. Sorry. Alchemy is super important for you. So I keep talking about that. It's like you really got to get into studying your abilities, studying who you are, studying your capabilities. But you have to be careful with that because third dimensional modalities do not work. I repeat, they do not work. I don't care if you're a freaking fifth generational Reiki master, you're not doing anything anymore. You have to allow yourself to heal into a new way of doing these things. And that's what I've taught my girls. Jacinth will validate that. Amy H isn't here, but they both went through my academy, and it's not like they can't touch theta. They can't touch those things. It just doesn't make sense. It's like a foreign object. Okay. And so please be careful who you are learning through right now, because unless they're able to teach you into 5D and beyond, it's not going to do any good for you. Okay. And I was talking about this again. It's like if you're following somebody that can't see the work that I've done in the earth, freaking run and run fast. The person I came through the academy with before is not connected to the light anymore. Okay. They recently bought a house near Mount Shasta and they live near Yosemite. And I'm like, oh, luck. They can't see anything I did because they were cut off from the light. And here's another thing is there's people teaching Akasha Records. Like, why can't you read it? If you can read Akasha Records, you can see the work I've done. If you're connected to the light, you can see at least some of the work I've done. Okay. There was one of the girls that was coming through the academy that I didn't connect to before. She couldn't see it for a long time, but now she's seeing the timelines. 444. So it doesn't matter exactly what they're seeing. Do they have to see the whole thing? No. But they need to at least see some of it. They need to be able to tune in and say, OMG, this shit's real. Okay. If you look at De La Roca, Steve's Loved Hair, all these people, they can see that shit's changing. Right. And so whoever you are going to learn from, they need to be able, and Gigi, especially you, because you have Christ light in you. So you did that workshop for me. Now Spirit is telling me that you're learning from somebody where they block your flow. Not this person, but they can't touch your light. Do you understand me? So you also have to be careful with that too. Okay. So just be careful who you're trying to bring around your light, because it's going to feel like a disconnect. Like you're not learning anything. And that's why. Okay. If they can't tune into those, here's another part of that, you guys, because I told you about the shadow self. So even like, let's say there's a wonderful lady named Alfidia, and she is connected. She does give people DNA downloads. She can do a lot of workshops. She's a channeler, though. She's not the one doing it, but she channels the beings through. And I even asked about her, and she has to purge a shadow. So when you're doing that, you're going to be a little bit in a void. As light workers, as healers, you have to purge the shadow. Here's another example. Lori Ladd. She keeps talking about anxiety and anger. She's not tuning into what I did. The work I did is so high frequency and it happened so fast. And I sped up the timeline. Okay, Gigi, this is important for you to know, especially anybody else trying to do this work. She's not seeing it. She's just talking about the anxiety rising and all that. That's part of the collective shadow and her individual shadow. Do you understand? But she's not sitting here going, oh, we got to purge the shadow. She's just like, oh, forgive yourself for dealing with these. She's not teaching everybody how to get rid of it. So you have to watch that. We must be very in tune with how to heal that shadow. And I am seeing light workers and star seeds not seeing that yet. You guys, this work was so big. Every person on this planet, including star seeds and light workers, is about to be hit hard with their own shadow and that of the collective whole. Okay. Now, Gigi, I know you did that workshop. Those that did that workshop are the only ones on this planet. They're going to have an easier time as we go. Everybody on this planet has to purge these. You all have it in you. I don't care if you think you don't. Well, I don't see a shadow, and that means it's deeply embedded in you. Okay. Shania Twain, thank you. You're still the one. Still the one. I knew it was Shania Twain. That was my first concert. I should have known that. Thank you, Jose. All right, Gigi. So the reason I have to say that is because you have to be very careful, okay? But it is time for you to learn your abilities, all right? Now, didn't I tell you that Ninka, I had her look up who I am? I'm like, ask Spirit who I am. You want to know what she heard? It's not one little title. They gave her a lot of information, and she's still got a lot of processing to do before I get the full explanation of it. But who they told her I am is I bring chaos in order for everybody to see their full potentiality and rebuild from their reality. So basically, I come in and take your whole world down and y'all get to rebuild. But I'm filled with passion and huge heart. So she's like, it's not bad. I'm like, no, I know it's not bad. But I've said I've done this from day one. I am the one that comes in and I am taking down everything. I took down the whole entire collective shadow. But you guys, if you're not willing to deal with that, so Gigi, part of your message is your husband. Pay attention to him. He's got a huge shadow piece. So it's going to come out, and it's going to come out swinging. And I'm looking off into nothing. I'm like channeling with my eyes open lately, so please forgive me that. But I'm seeing a scene play out, and I see him like sitting down, and I see you just nonchalantly like doing your thing. You're so full of love, and you're so full of life, and you're always bubbling around. And this is part of the message. It's like you're absolutely in joy, and all of a sudden he comes out like that's like just like and you're like, what the hell? And it's not good. Just know that's part of his individual shadow first before he can touch the collective shadow side. What I'm trying to tell you is he has a very big shadow. Okay? And he doesn't know it yet. So do you remember me saying to you guys that it's really going to surface and we cannot hide anything. We cannot lie. We have to see our truths. We have to purge. This is happening for the collective, and it's going to happen in an individual level. And so I just want you to know that the moment he starts, and you're going to see it in his eyes, it's almost like dark around his eyes. Protect yourself. Yeah, just protect yourself. Don't get caught up in it. Because if you take it personal, that's not going to help you. He has to purge it, right? And so it's a temporary, but he has to actually do the work. Okay. What I'm hearing is you can kind of explain it to him, but if you tried to give him that workshop, it's not going to work for him because he didn't do an energetic exchange. He's not open to receiving my work, Gigi. He's not quite open to receiving my level of light. You can verbally spew out how he can do it, deal with it. But if you try to expose my course to him like the guided meditations, it won't do anything for him except for invoke El Diablo in him. Because that's what the shadow is. You guys realize that? The shadow is not just trauma happened to you in your childhood. It's El Diablo. That's what I just cleared out of the whole fucking planet. El Diablo. It's not a joke. It's all recorded and witnessed. And then the fire started, and then the earthquake happened, or the earthquake hasn't happened yet. Yeah. Yeah. So Jacinta's another part of who she said I was. Oh, good. Okay, good. That'll help. But yeah, so it's gonna probably come out before then. What was I going to say? Another thing Ninka said about me is that I help everybody discover who they truly are. Yeah, it's not just like for the collective earth, right? It's on an individual level. So that's also plays into why Spirit had me do the academy. All right, Gigi, but they want to give you a card too. But your husband has a very large one and a very large ego to deal with. And once he purges his individual shadow, then he can purge the collective shadow. But if you try to give him my meditations, it's only going to invoke anger. He can't accept my light. He has a lot of healing to do. He would have to open his heart in a very big way, but he has truths to speak. So it's almost like, unless somebody's willing to really rise, they're blocked from me. right? I know, just saying, think about that. When you first met me, you were a totally different person. Same with Amy and everybody, right? Everybody that actually went through my workshops, that didn't judge, that took the task, that did the work and just kept going, man, they can see, they learn who they were and then who they are now. Totally different frequencies. Gigi says, me too. Yeah, it's very true. All right. Okay, this is, they want me to do this. Gigi, we have. Aw, my academy allowed her to do that. My course academy allowed her to do that. Yeah, I mean, I think it was all of it, but I do, that is what that one is tailored to, is bringing you into the healer and the light that you truly are. So I love it. Thank you. Gigi, I haven't pulled this one before, and it's relevant for you in every which way. It's the White Raven spirit and this trust in the magic. Trust in the magic. But this also goes, and I have 66, so this goes with your thoughts, right? You're in your head too much. You think too much about things. But it truly is trusting in the magic, right? Trusting in the magic and giving things space to occur. Don't think about them too deeply. Just give things space to occur. Trust in your intentions and allowing them to come through, but also believe in the goddess that you are. This is part of the first message I gave you. The fact that we don't like to accept, like we're struggling with accepting the whole term goddess. Like, how can I be a goddess? And I don't want to get into details for why you have a hard time accepting this, but you can't let others' wounds and others' shadow pieces dictate who you are. Purge that shit. Okay? This is also why your husband's coming out, because when his shadow starts to bite, it may hurt you emotionally, not physically. But I don't want any more damage to come to you because there's love. And so we hold what he says to our heart. Right? And it's the same thing. That's why I'm desperate to know how my twin flame feels about me, because then I'll have the full spectrum. And that matters. And that's relevant for you too. In your mind, it's like how he thinks of you helps determine who we are, because that's kind of how we were taught, right? But you need to put up that intention that anything he spews is not going to help you determine who you are. It's not going to take away the magic that is within you. And trust the magic that he will do what he needs to do to purge that shit. Because that is our gateway through. The ascension has now gotten to the point where you are in Judgment Day actively, the whole entire population. The only two that are not are me and my twin flame, because we already went through it. We did. Through our whole battle over the last 9 months. We were actively in Judgment Day with God. I know what it feels like. I know what I experienced. We were there. And so the whole planet is currently going through a Judgment Day. And it's really easy to let others' shit affect us. Don't do that. Okay? Give everybody space and don't judge. And I know that's really weird. We're in Judgment Day. How do we not judge? God doesn't judge like people do. Okay? God doesn't judge like people do. And that's where the Bible gets it wrong, because it teaches you that. Well, shit, if I'm late for church, I'm going to be condemned. Yet that church was trying to tell me I'm going to hell unless I don't get baptized. And they were trying to molest a whole bunch of us in the basement. The things that make you go, The best way I can describe to you is we are going to be purging layers and layers and layers of shit. And it's going to come through all of you. And now, because of the work I did, if you're not willing to face your shadow and heal it, that's your gateway to the ascension. That's why they're saying the gateway got narrower, because even light workers and star seeds have to purge that shadow and have to go through their own Judgment Day. Okay. Part of Athena's message was directed more towards Facebook for the mocking me, not the judging me. Lots of people on YouTube judged me. Lots of people all over judge. Why do we do that? Does that mean we're broken and we're horrible? No. We were all taught to judge. That's a collective shadow. Okay, and that's going to start purging. And so you're going to want to judge because it's rising. So this is what I'm trying to tell everybody. As these layers rise, it's going to start coming out in you. All of a sudden you're going to be like, I'm hateful. Why the hell do I hate? And Lori Ladd is kind of touching on it, right? She's like, it's okay to be angry. You need to know what to do with that. Because if you just simply let it rise and play out in your environment, you're not taking the actions to heal it, and it will sink back down. Does that make sense? I hope it does. The rest you'll find in my course on how to deal with the shadow. If you don't want to take my course, you better get a psychology degree. You better study Carl Jung. You better take all Deepak Chopra's shit. You better learn how to connect to spirit right now. And you better learn how to do all kinds of shit in order to get that shadow out of you. It's not a joke. That's why spirits like you don't even know how big of what you just did. And you know what? I've been trying to tell people forever who I am and what's coming your way. Right? And so I don't hold any remorse for the work that I did. I'm proud of the work that I did because I've done the work to get there. And so have all these ladies that were watching me. So yeah, as far as I know, JJ was the only one who donated. So I love Q&As also. So if anybody else has any more questions or anything else they want to talk about, I can't reiterate enough, you guys. So they're saying that Yosemite is a precursor for the rest of to come. It was related to what I did. There's no doubt about that. This is what Spirit is saying. And there's more to come from that. It's not just a one and done. So the earth was pixelating. I moved her whole entire surface. So until the earth is fully readjusted into a whole new map, probably having California, at least 90% of it being cleansed, purged, and other places too, they're saying. So there's a lot of adjustments the earth is going to do. There's a lot of moving around because there's all those tunnels underneath her that were filled with blood, not literally, figuratively speaking, right? So if I go into these tunnels and I take kids through them and we kidnap people through them and we have aliens coming through them and poking and potting people. So the government actually gave them rights to, this is what I'm channeling right now, rights to do so. They have contracts with alien species. This is what I'm hearing right now, okay? And they would allow them to come in. They would allow them to come in and use people. So, right, like a puppeteer type thing, like poke and prod, but for benefits, not just research into who these species are, for sick shit that I don't even need to get into. Y'all are going to feel it. Y'all are going to purge it. But those empty pockets of darkness, the earth is about to just continually letting you know where they are and cleansing them out. Okay. There was, Gigi says, thank you. There was a lot in there, right, Gigi? That was a good message. Saint asks, is there more shadow work needed to be done for the collective whole? No, not on my end. Only on the whole collective. So this was a hidden piece. This was a hidden piece that came out in my shadow work. And that meditation on the 21st was quite large. It was very powerful, like the ones I usually do. It was quite large. And I've been kind of cleansing all the darkness out of her over the last 3 years. It held so much darkness. It doesn't anymore. So I rebirthed the planet with this one. Just saying, she's been reborn. Even Amy's like, I saw the phoenix. I'm like, yep. The phoenix rose after I did that and the fire started. It's not a joke. It's recorded. I'm just not giving this one away free. So the planet, here's the thing, is when Atlantis was taken down, it was infiltrated by the darkness. Everybody's like, oh, it just became corrupt. Yeah, they came in and they took over the planet. All right. And then humankind came, so that showing that we can come in not knowing who we are and we can still find love. That was the whole purpose of life for humankind. I'm not like you. I'm not humankind. I'm not from here. Okay. I'm a god. It's true. So humankind's lesson was to learn unconditional love. That is the purpose of life. But the problem is you're all born into that shadow. And so everybody thinks, well, I didn't have abuse. I don't have a shadow to deal with. I don't struggle in these ways and that ways. That means it's buried deep within you. Okay. And you absolutely have a shadow. Yep. Earth held so much darkness. Absolutely. It was infiltrated everywhere, every which way, every nook and cranny. So if I told the earth to purge those places, how much movement do you think she's about to do? Not to mention the weather. So even my friend in the Netherlands is like, Bree, there was a tornado here. There never is. She's like, we are in such hot weather. We don't ever have air conditioning here because they don't usually get that hot. She's like, we didn't get our snow. I said, we didn't either. I think right now where I'm at is the most mellow weather of the whole entire planet. When you look across the board, there's shit going down. There's heat waves. There's the food shortage they're talking about is coming in September. I would say prep now. It's what I've been telling everybody to do. I did the GMO farms 2 years ago, 3 years ago now. And now the work that I'm doing is surfacing right away. That was the final component, and this is what they're now calling Judgment Day, because I have removed all the darkness for Christ's return. So I hope that explains it. Every person on this planet is going to be, they're already beginning to purge. Star seeds and light workers first, which is why you hear Lori Ladd talking about it, but she's not tuning into how to get rid of it. She is not explaining how to get rid of it. She is just saying, it's okay. I would be careful with that, because if you don't know how to beat the shadow, which is El Diablo, it's darkness. That's even Carl Jung will tell you that. Okay. It is what it is. Deepak Chopra will tell you the same thing. You don't have to listen to me. I got this through my awakening though, right? Every person who's actually connected is going to tell you the same thing. We are in for a rude awakening. So that's who I am. She's like, you cause mass chaos, but not in a bad way. I'm like, yeah, no, I know. I totally undid your whole entire planet. And that's God. God channeled through this one. God said, as above, so below. Because I chose every step of the way to take my power back. I chose every step of the way to keep living. Not 222. I was going to say, not only did I choose for me, I chose to keep loving my twin flame more and more and more and more every day. And just, I chose to keep holding on to him and pulling him in and pulling him in, and to where I even surprised myself. And now all I want to do is just fill him with love. And I always wanted that. But like when I got to do that healing on him, like it was like I chose some shit. Okay. And all of you are now going to have to go through the process basically that I went through in your own way. I hope this makes sense. But what scares me, I've always said that. Yes, I did a video on this channel from a couple of years ago where I said, as above, so below. What is coming for you? Warning, what is coming for you? I brought about Judgment Day. I brought about the prophecy, Hopi prophecy, God's prophecy. I'm what they call the prophet. I'm what they call the one. I just don't like to, people judge. They don't listen. And so if I come off going, I'm the prophet, I don't know. It doesn't feel right to me. I'm an ascension master healer, but I am the one who brought it about. Okay, the prophecy. And they even told Nika that like a couple of years ago. They're like, oh, the prophet started, the prophecy began. So and she's like telling me all this stuff. It's like full circle moments for her now. And I'm like, yeah, I love it. So yeah, I have always said that. You can look back on my channel. You can go to my Facebook page and watch all that stuff over the last few years. Except around there, I was being attacked, and I know by who, and I took my power back there too. So here's also the thing, okay? I sped up the ascension, meaning the days for those people on this earth is quite limited now. We are down 2 days. We are down 2 days, my friends. Not years, not months, weeks. It's already begun from the 21st. Okay? Judgment Day began on the 21st, and it is now cleansed for Christ to return. This is now God's planet. And he said that. He said something like that in my workshop this last weekend. I can't remember exactly what he said. It's always deeper than what you think. But I remember him saying, "Thy will be done as above, so below." And then he gave me the scroll, to which, after I cleansed the bodies in that hidden pocket, which was El Diablo, he was a puppeteer. He was like a puppeteer of every master, puppet master of the dark entities on this planet. Okay? That's how he gets into your head. You can think of it that way. Think about it, ego. Think about it in your mind space, low vibration, depression, bipolar, all these fucking things, okay? It's all related, my dudes. It's all related. It truly is. Then God gave me that scroll, and then I read that scroll to the earth, and we moved her, and I told her what to do. And then I'm like, oop, a fire. And then I said, oh, volcanoes. And then I said, oh, shit, I cracked her. Big crack. And I was like, oop, let me try to heal that. And they said, no. I was not fix. I was not able to heal that crack. Okay? 555. The synchronicities in this video are insane. Insane. And the funny thing is this is where I got frustrated yesterday. And it's not my problem if you want to hear me or not, or get the proof that you want to see. But I went on Facebook, and they show us the stats of how many people watch our videos, how long you tune in for, all that kind of stuff. And when I start speaking about the apocalypse and the end of days and the coming days and what's going to happen in the work that I did, people tune out. And especially on Facebook. Facebook is so fucking infiltrated. It is so dark, right? Yep. This is God's planet now. The light has returned. And now we're just purging. And there's days left for the darkness. They're on their last days, okay? Not years, not months, it's days. Literally, I shortened the time frame for how long they can stay on this earth with this last workshop, okay? But it's like people listen for 5 seconds. We have like 22 3-minute views, and they missed everything I said. Everything. They missed the fact of what's coming for them and how to deal with it. They missed the fact of where to find the proof. They missed all of these things. And I can't say this enough. This is actively Judgment Day. And if y'all aren't worth getting your own information, getting all the things you need to get so that you can do what you need to do, it's on you, not me. I'm providing it all for you. Most of it free of charge, right? But the ones who do the work, you will be rewarded through and through. The ones who are willing to listen to that subtle voice within and not give two shits about the judgments around the world or their stupid fear because that's false, or stupid ego because that's false. And they're willing to look deeper. They're willing to pay more attention because the planet got so used to fast and done. Give me what I want and I'm done. Give me what I want and I'm done. Ooh, free. Ooh, quick. Ooh, free. Spirit does not work that way. Spirit works way deeper. Spirit's not in your mind. Spirit is in your body. And we are all connected in every way. Okay? At least those are of the light, right? And so if you're not willing to let go of everything else, that collective shadow, well, I don't want people judging me. F them. Who cares? Run. Because the fact that they're judging, they're stuck in their own shadow. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? It's more judgment on themselves anyway. And that's that collective shadow. Judgment is not real. God does not judge like people judge. God reads our heart. What is in their heart? That was the purpose of life for humankind. Gods like me created humans. I am part of the gods of time. Prometheus, god of war, god of humankind. I've already talked about this. Human race was created to learn unconditional love. That is what you are being judged upon. How much love is in their heart? What was their intentions? So maybe I'm not perfect. I wasn't perfect. I made mistakes. I did, especially in my twin flame journey. Right? Just think, says personal question. In the membership session we did this month, was there something mentioned about being in the void for a few days following the day of this workshop? I have feeling odd today. So you're getting hit with that twice. So in the personal Membership. I did a healing membership on the 22nd, you guys, where I cut everybody off of the core of the earth. Nobody was able to ground to the planet because we upgraded our systems to 7D, and not everybody can receive that. No light workers, no star seeds, except for those that were in my monthly membership could receive that one. You're getting a void from that, because every time you get huge healing, you go into what they call a void as you're integrating and protecting and all of that, right? Your body has to accept all that and purge what doesn't belong. You're also feeling the shadow void. The whole planet is being reborn. And so you want to talk about a dark night of the soul? Holy shit bricks, Batman. And those of you that did my workshops, remember what they said throughout them. You will be protected as if you're outside of what is about to happen on this planet. So those that did the shadow work workshop, it's going to be as if you're standing outside of what is unfolding on the planet. When you do my work, you're placed into above the rest of the planet. It's not like you're better than. You're just taking work and you're ahead of them, because that's who I am. I'm the one who brought it about. Okay? So those that did the shadow purge workshop are going to look around and go, it's like you've already gone through it and everybody else is going through it outside of you. It will not affect you like it affects everybody else. Those that did the pyramid workshops with me, not the ones that are watching it afterwards, you're not going to receive in the same way, but you're in a different protective bubble, okay, because of the work I do. I'm already ascending you. So yes, Jacinta, you're feeling double the void. Now I'm going to warn you, because you didn't do the shadow workshop, it will hit you. So when you come out of this void, it's going to be like, whoa, what the F is happening to me? All right. You'll hear Lori Ladd talking about it. That's the sad part, is light workers are not tuned into what I did yet, but they're feeling it start to purge. They're the first ones to feel it start to purge. Lori Ladd's talking about it. Oh, the anxiety. Even the Darkhead Fabio guy. Our everyday lives. He's talking about it. Do we ever get a break? You're going to feel like you're dying. Even he's going to start purging that shadow. So light workers and starseeds will start purging it first, and then the rest of the population will also start to purge it. But the problem is they're not telling any of you what to do with it other than love yourself through it, and that's going to get you nowhere. The void is personal. There is no telling how long you're in a void. Spiritual awakening stages is the same kind of way, right? Like, we awaken, everything's new and euphoric, and we're like, this feels great. Then the next thing you know, you're like, fuck, this don't feel so good. This really hurts. And you start purging and healing, right? Then after that, you go into the void, or like a dark night of the soul, and then the void where you feel like you're not connected. Like, I'm not connected. What is happening? I don't feel good. This is where depression can set in. This is where we get in our head and it gets dangerous. And it all depends on how dense your energy is, how much integration has to occur, and how high you're going. Make sense? That determines how long you're in a void, or in a space of feeling non-connected, or going through what we would call the dark night of the soul. Okay. So I'm just making sure nobody else donated. Does that make sense? And by the way, next Sunday is my birthday. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do on here yet, but I want to do like something. And those that do donate I don't know if you guys read the emails. Those that do donate, Gigi, I hope you're hearing this, because I've been sending emails out about this and the work that I did. But if you are donating, at the end of every month, you will be entered into a thing, and I will pick a winner again. So I'm going to start doing giveaway on healing sessions. There's also going to come a time, you guys, where I cut off the ability to get healing sessions from me, except for very special occasions. Because as people wake up to who I am, because they are going to, especially from now on, you're currently in Judgment Day, and it's Christ's return stage. And so when people wake up to who I am, I have to close that door. I will not give my kind of healings to everybody. I cannot. And so Just know that that's coming. What I'll probably do is leave it to where, like, if you need something on an emergency basis, I will be there, especially for my regulars, right? You can email me and message me, and we will set up a session that way, and you can still purchase it that way. But for the most part, I have to, because what would you do if you found out Jesus was alive in this time frame? And I'm not Jesus. I'm part of the gods of time. My healings are even more powerful at times than his were. Okay. It's true. I don't need you to believe me. It's true. I heal a lot of people. Okay, Jacinth, because of the work I did. So that's what I've been saying. She's like, I've been feeling blah, 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 dull, unmotivated, unimpressed. That is the beginning of your purge of the shadow. Lori Ladd is talking about it. Oh, the anxiety. It's okay if you feel anxiety. Yeah, but she's not giving you what you need to do with it. That's why I did the shadow course. Okay, if you don't know how to heal the shadow, if you don't know how to recognize it, the shadow can win because it gets in our head. The shadow will take the biggest fears you have, the biggest voids you have, the biggest emptiness you have, addictions that you have, and it will freaking take you down. Not a joke. This is why I'm like, oh my God, you guys don't know what's coming your way. Okay. The shadow will win. It will use your biggest, whatever it is you don't like, whatever it is you shy away from, whatever your biggest fears are, whatever your biggest addictions are. Trust me, because I was hoping I gave my twin flame strength because I went through something and spirit said I was the strongest compared to none in this planet because of what I had to feel and overcome in that. And I did it for him. So the reason I'm making such a big deal out about the shadow and the collective shadow, it's never been done before. I don't care how many shamans, I don't care how much shadow work you've had. Nobody can touch this level of the shadow like I did. And you have no choice but to allow it to rise and release it. And I can't reiterate enough that it's going to take your biggest fears, your biggest trials and tribulations, shit you didn't even know existed inside of you, stuff that's not even yours because it's part of the collective shadow. You're going to start to feel like you were molested and these horrible, horrible, horrible things. Some of them are going to be yours. Some of them are going to be the collective. And if you can't recognize them and you don't know how to heal it, you're in trouble. We can't just allow it to surface and it's done. If you don't take the actions to do what you need to do with the shadow, it will go back down. It becomes like a virus. It becomes dormant until it's ready to strike. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? It's a big, big deal. That's why Spirit's like, oh my God. Like Judgment Day is now. Okay. So everybody on this planet is about to get hit with waves of that. It depends on how big your shadow is for how long it takes you to feel it. So those that are more connected, those that might have Christ light in them that did the work with me, you're going to feel it sooner than others. Lori Ladd is feeling it sooner than others. The problem is she's like, oh, it's okay to feel the anger. And I can see it in her face. It's not okay. You have to be taught the steps to deal with it because it's not like I can just like, oh, I recognize it. I'm going to love it and we're good. It's not that easy. And trust me, it's not that easy. You guys have no idea the pain I've endured. No idea. You have to be stronger than you've ever been before. That's about what I can give you unless I go into my whole course, which took me 4 days to do. That's not what I'm here to do. You guys can purchase my course if you want that one. But I can't tell you enough that every human being on this planet is currently now actively in Judgment Day. Big, big, big time. This is the last days on this planet of the old ways. Doesn't mean we're all going to die. No. Okay? But things that don't belong has got to go. Its time is very, very, very limited now. Days, moments, maybe weeks. The fire and the earthquake showed me that. That was spirit. I had full circle moments into that. Okay. And that's what's upsetting me. Is like, I don't see a single light worker telling you how to heal it because they don't know. They just don't know. And that's what Spirit is telling me right now. You cannot just go to a shaman and deal with this. You cannot just love your child and it be okay. That's not how it works. When the shadow rises is when you can actually do the healing work on it. When it's dormant, you cannot heal the shadow in your mind either. You have to get the fuck out of your head. Because over this next week, it is going to be attacking you, starting in your head. And it will come in waves for the collective whole. Okay? It will take your biggest fears. It will take everything that you don't want to be. And it will use it against you and against you and against you. And it's relentless, my friends. It will break you down to where you feel like you can't go on anymore. I don't know how many times I said that in my twin flame journey. I can't go on anymore. Like, I'm so tired. I almost gave up so many times. I even remember feeling his energy, like, don't give up. And I would hear Malachi, don't give up. Like, don't hang in there. You guys don't know what I did. I wasn't supposed to survive. Nobody's ever survived it. And they actually showed me that when I first met my twin flame. When they showed me my dream of my twin flame, then they showed me clearing all these needles. That's part of the collective shadow, okay? It is. So that's what I'm telling you. If you got any kind of addiction to negative thoughts, to drugs, it is going to hit you so hard. I don't care if you haven't done them in years. You're about to be hit with that all over again in a very, very, very powerful way. It is going to be overwhelming, and you're going to have to be stronger than you've ever been before, but you can't just ignore it and push it down. Okay. I've already done this for my twin flame and for myself. I already did it. That's what I've been doing. So he won't have these experiences, not with that part. He has other pieces of his individual shadow that weren't mine, that weren't part of that collective, that he may be faced with still. So I don't know why that's coming up, but so everybody has two parts of that shadow. Everybody does. So I've already purged a collective whole one within him and me, and for all of you. But there's parts of his individual I can't touch until we unite, and then I can do healings on him too. Or he can be taught how, right? So that's the thing, is as they rise is the only time you can heal them and do what you need to do to undo them, okay? As they go back down, you're screwed. You got to be able to pull them back up. And I can't reiterate enough how they get in your head. And it 2222 is insane. And it breaks you down. It will break you down. You have to be stronger than you've ever felt before. And I feel like this kind of came on for a specific reason. So Spirit's telling me some are going to have deeper pieces of this to go through. It depends on what you reap, right? Because you reap what you sow in Judgment Day. That's what Judgment Day truly is. We reap what we sow. God doesn't judge. He's not like humankind. He's unconditional love. And so am I. And that's quite obvious through my twin flame journey. Gigi, you went through the shadow work with me. You know what to do. But yes, you have to hold on to strength in those moments because, like I said in there, is it will use your deepest, darkest secrets against you. Stuff you don't want people to know. Stuff you're not comfortable with. Stuff you don't want to see. Stuff you didn't even know existed. Okay? This is you want to talk about darkness. It's El Diablo. Okay? And we were all born into the collective shadow. So I don't care if you were actively molesting kids or all of it, you're going to feel it. You're going to have to purge that too. You're going to be like, what the hell? You're going to feel it and you're going to see it play out. It's just what it is. It can't be hidden anymore. None of it can be hidden anymore. So the whole entire population is going to see it. You don't have a choice. If you don't believe me, watch my shit. Do that shadow workshop just specifically for the collective purge and the healing it, right? And you can compare that to what's playing out right now. You can compare that to everything else I did. I don't know what else to tell you and who I am. I don't know what else proved to provide everybody else, right? They're just going to have to see it. And they are going to all wake up to who I am because it is absolutely time for the return of Christ. That's the energy we're in. because I purged every bit of darkness on this planet. Every bit. And it took me 3 years. Since 2019. Yeah. Yeah, 3 years. I'm like losing track of time because it was all so much 444. So I'm just trying to see what else they want you to know about the shadow is no joke. We're in for a big surprise, let me tell you. Okay. They keep telling me, allow the earth to guide you because it is a dawn of a new day. Things are not the same. My car should have been taken away. They won't let me pay for it. And I'm like, oh, like normally shit comes through for me. You know what I mean? Like I can manifest some shit. And I can't. And that's been my biggest stress lately. And they're like, stop stressing. And I'm like, like my heart hurts. It's too enlarged for this shit. You know? And it's just the weirdest energy. And the only answer I can get is we are in a new world. It is a dawn of a new day. And people, even Nika said this, is the collective whole keeps trying to anchor in and hold on to what no longer exists. And even Amy's doing it. Okay, we all just have that tendency, especially as we're waking up, to try to hold on to what we're familiar with. Same job, same people, same world. You don't have time, 555. You don't have any more time to do that. I sped it up at least 2 times this weekend. And the gate became even narrower because now, due to the work I did, you have to purge the shadow in order to ascend because we're going into 7D, not 5D, the planet. And so you can go into 5D and still live here, or 4 and 5D and still stay here. You have to match those frequencies. And so you have to purge that shadow. You don't have a choice if you're going to be here. It's not a joke. And it will use everything you didn't even know against you was against you. That's not a joke either. And Spirit's also telling me it can come out in other people against you. Gigi, 555 also represents new timelines and sudden changes. So they're layered. But yes, it is a new phase moving forward. It's sudden changes, new timelines, and all that kind of stuff. Okay. Yeah. And so here's another thing. Like if you were dealing with addictions from 10 years ago and they haven't come out in a long time, be prepared. Yeah. 555 used to scare me. I don't want sudden changes because they can be like a lightning strike. But very good. They're meant to restructure. You can switch timelines with them, right? It's changes are coming. That's the main one of 555. In the workshops, can I clarify once more what the clocks and the concept of time being sped up means in our current reality? Yes. So if you look back on my channel or in my Ascension playlist, about a year or 2 ago now, I undid the false concept of time. That is in a guided meditation. I also undid the moon. The moon is a false entity. It was dark. It's not light. Okay. That actually got disrupted in the twin flame union, and I had to correct that, to which they then attacked the Georgia guideposts or whatever. Okay. It's all related. But they're both related in that. So we would live by this weird structure of time that was false. Our lives were shortened. We were on this 30-day cycle for birth, which it's not a normal cycle, by the way. We were changed energetically to have shorter lifespans. And you can see that over time, it's been getting faster and faster. We've been living longer lives slowly but surely, right? Like the life expectancy used to be what, like 35 or some kind of guy. I've been long time. I'd be dead already. A few years ago, I'd have been out, right? But there's a false concept of time, okay? When you talk to spirit, when you're with somebody that's truly tuned in, like I am, they will never give me exact time frames because their time is non-existent like ours. It's open. We are like in a free energetic form. And so things live longer, things get bigger, much like Atlantis used to be. Everybody was really big. The skulls were quite larger, right? We had like all these different things. Plants were much bigger. When I see Atlantis in my head, the Colosseums were like, ah. When I grabbed these kids and went into this pillar, it was like huge. huge. We are in a dense planet. Well, we were, where time was quite constricted, and it was all false. It was created by El Diablo, by those things that were controlling the energy on this planet, and it was what they resonated with, but not truly what humankind resonated with or this planet. So I undid the false concept of time. I broke the connections and the satellites that dealt with the moon. That's all on my channel. We moved the moon so that everybody can receive the sun and wake up, because it used to block you. You used to be blocked a lot from the sun. There's a reason for that. And I watched that Earth guy, and he's like, what is that around the sun? Why is the sun? I did that. I moved the sun back, and I've been pulling the light from the sun to the Earth. Every time I activate a pyramid, I use the sun as well. These are all relevant to time. Okay. So in the recent workshops, I was reversing time all the way back to the beginning of time. I am part of the gods of time. It's not a joke. So I was literally turning time back. I redid Atlantis. We rewrote the books on Atlantis, right? I don't know why I'm running out of breath. So we took it all the way back to the end of time. Now, the timelines got messed with for the twin flame union as well. I had to create a few timelines that didn't exist. And so there's one that's about to line up to where it should be. Okay, so you're kind of feeling that too. But with this last workshop, the ascension was still ongoing, right? We're still slowly going through this ascension process. Well, it started speeding up more and more. We're ascending faster. The earth is ascending faster and faster. With this last one that I did, I sped it up 2 times more, which means there is days left for those that can't ascend. Now, days on the other side could be weeks to us. Maybe a month, maybe 2, okay? No longer years. Like, they are under the false pretense that they have more time. They do not. Any darkness has to go now faster than you ever know. There is no time left, okay? And I closed off the opening for ascension even more. So now, in order to ascend, rise in consciousness, come into the new earth, and still continue to live here, you have to heal that shadow. You don't have a choice because of what I did. That's why it's been a big deal for me to put it out there. Like, if you all aren't willing and don't know how to heal that shadow, and it's going to take you a bit to understand it, you can't go to a shaman and do it. Nobody else has been able to touch the collective shadow until now. I did it. So that is what the false concept of time is. Hello. That is what it means that I sped up time for ascension, because I took us all the way back to the beginning of time, and I eradicated all darkness. All the way back to what the Bible calls Adam and Eve, which is not accurate. That's actually Atlantis that was infiltrated by El Diablo. And this lifetime, I called all my power back, because that's what happened to me in Atlantis. My power was snuffed out, and unfortunately, by my twin flame. But this lifetime, it happened to him too. But this lifetime, I was able to be stronger and stronger, and I pulled me through it, and I actively pulled him through it. And it took me a minute. I made a mistake in the beginning. I did. I hurt him. I was the first one to hurt him. I mean, his shit was childish, but I actually really hurt him. Like, I didn't mean to. It was not intentional. I didn't know it was coming. I didn't know what it meant to even have a twin flame, or what his purpose was with me. I remember even saying, maybe next lifetime we're supposed to be together. There is no next lifetime. It's this one. And so I'm the first one that made a mistake on that. Okay. But that's the thing, is we don't have, that's what I've talked about too, with like karma cleansing and stuff, is what spiritual people used to do is tell you to burn those contracts, when in essence, the only thing you're saying is you're not going to deal with them in this lifetime. So they'll carry forward to the next lifetime. When we die, we have a life review, right? What is a life review? When we come here, we have certain things we're set out to do. It's like a map. That's your like astrological blueprint they learn to tune into. You really do write it out. I'm going to meet this person. I'm going to do this. I have to make this goal, this goal, this goal. I'm going to clear this. I'm going to heal this karma. That's what we do in every lifetime. The purpose is of coming into more unconditional love. And boy, did we all suck at that for a long time, right? Excuse me. And so that was the problem in this lifetime. And even like Corinne was a big one about this, is let's get rid of contracts, except for you can't bring them forward next time. If you're not willing to clear your karma, and if you're not willing to heal your shadow this lifetime, you won't be ascending in this lifetime. Jacinth, yes. So that's what I'm talking about, is you're in the end of days. Not for everybody, but for what the planet used to be and what you were able to do here before and how everybody was being hurt and all of these kinds of things. You can't do that here anymore. If you're not doing God's stuff, you have to fucking go. Like it's not a joke. And so with also the double timelines, Jacinth, the work you did in my monthly membership did that a little bit, because part of your body is now in 7D and the rest of you is somewhat back in 4D and 5D, which is where the earth is. And so that's part of that. You're like living in between both worlds, right? We're not quite in 7D yet. And we're not fully out of 3D all the way until like it's coming. And so you're kind of living in between two different timelines that way. But also with the shadow work that I did, it's a whole nother ball game. Like you guys, I can't reiterate enough that they didn't expect I would make it this far. So like I had said before, they showed me a vision to where nobody's survived all of this before. Okay. I'm glad it makes sense. But I did. And like Goddess Athena said, I did it all on my own. And do you want to know something I'm really, really proud of? I'm very proud of this. And the more I think about this, the more proud of myself I am. My twin flame story. I hurt him, and then he was just scared it was going to be more pain, and then he was trying to avoid all that. And I know that in my heart of hearts. And I know he was kind of an asshole because he wasn't awake, right? I mean, he was a little bit, And so when he left, I was literally supposed to die. And that pain, I was actually being very protected, and he was not. And I could have chose to let him go at any given moment in time. Grant and Malachi kept saying, oh, he'll love you. He'll make it up to you, because they didn't want me to let him go. But I could have, because of what he did. I don't know if he's aware of that. Like I could have let him go. His soul was taken. I told him if he anchors into her, he's in trouble. And that's exactly what he did. And he didn't believe me. And I could have let him go. And instead, I fought, and I fought, and I fought, and I fought. And I sacrificed my arm, which was more painful than you'll ever know. You guys, my bone right here split in half and came out of my skin. Okay, it's not a joke. And I couldn't do surgery. And at the hospital, they're like, we can't leave you like that. And I'm like, well, what are you going to do? He's like, we're going to have to squeeze it all back into place. And I'm like, what? And he's like, oh, we'll put you to sleep. They didn't. Okay, they did not. They literally took my bones and put my hand back. They had to separate. Like it was the worst pain you can imagine. And I kept doing more for him and more for him. And I never gave up. No way in hell. I'm very, very proud of myself for that. It didn't matter what he did to me that was being presented, right? Because I know deep, deep down in his heart that he loved me just as much as I loved him. We just both made mistakes. And I just got chills. A lot of them when I said that. And that's what I need to hear, like from him. But I'm proud of that. Like, I was not supposed to live. I was not supposed to survive that. And instead, I held on to that love that I experienced from the moment I chose to connect to him. And I would hold on to that, and I would hold on to that, and I would hold on to that. And that is the one thing that got me through to this day. And that is why I never gave up on him. I'm proud of that because I learned I could have let him go and I would have been okay. Granted, I don't think we'd be here today doing the work that I did either, because what you guys don't realize is he's just as important as I am. We need to unite. It matters. And so there's more to that. But the only thing that kept me going was the love I felt for him. And he never showed me that. Like, he never showed it to me. So I didn't take it for face value. There's not one person on this planet that would have done that. That's what they told me. There's also not anybody ever that's survived it. And that's why the angels say that they're even in awe of what I did. Okay. So what I can tell you is the whole collective whole has to purge all the work I just did. And it hurt like a son of a bitch. It was very painful. Okay? You have to know what you're doing. You have to be stronger than your deepest, darkest places. Like you've never been before. Okay? It's not going to be as intense as what I did. It's going to be quicker for you guys. That's what they're also saying. You got to know what to do. And even Lori Ladd's not saying it. She's like, oh, it's okay. You got to know what to do. Okay? Can't beat shadow with the shadow. You got to know how that shadow was created in order to undo it that way. And only when it rises can you do that. So Jacinth says, the idea that you could have chosen to let him go ruptured. Yes, it did. That bond and nullified your contract. Yes, he did, because he signed the contract and then he anchored into darkness. And that's why Spirit said they didn't see that coming. They did not see that coming. And so in truth, just the other day when I found out his truth recently, Metatron and Malachi told me that, why he did what he did. They told me pretty much why he didn't. I keep going back to why did he do it? Because I don't have that. I don't hear his truth from him. And that's the hardest part is I'm not getting his truth from him. I can't ask the questions I need to ask. And I don't even know if he wants to be with me. Like, I don't even know if he wants, I'm like, why did he sign the contract? He didn't mean to go anchor into darkness. You realize that he fucked up, right? But it did kind of nullify that a little bit. And so you can see that play out on my channel where after we saved his soul, they redid our connections and that bond and everything, and they brought it back together. And then he kept choosing to not come. And so Spirit literally asked me this last time is if I forgive him, I need to choose him again, and then I'll seal it with a kiss. And all I can say is I choose him. So I'm really proud of myself too. I loved like I never knew I could love. And I just hope I get it in return. Like, I hope he stops her. Like, that's why my question was, is he trying to kill me? Like, was that truly his motivation? Does he really hate me? Does he regret signing that contract? Does he not want to? And I didn't realize he signed it willingly before and then did that. So I'm like, does he not want it? And I don't want to die. Like, I've done enough work. I deserve to be here. But the separation is making my heart become enlarged again every day more and more. And I'm getting sick now. My stomach's turning a lot. I'm getting nauseous. My back hurts. My shoulder hurts. I can't lay on my left side. It's getting worse and worse and worse. So that's my question is does he really love me? And did he even want the contract? Would have been good if I heard this from him, because we probably can. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. But knowing me, I still never gave up. I tried very hard. So I'm proud of myself. I'd marry me. I'm badass, and I wasn't supposed to make it this far. They did not think that I would. There was many times they were like, remember who you are. And I'm like, what do you mean? And they're like, you're a warrior. And I'm like, what? Don't give up. And I'm like, oh. And then even when I broke my arm, that was the worst pain in the world. Yeah. It took incredible strength. The other day, Spirit literally told me, I have the strength comparable to no one on this planet. And then what's really weird is I'll do these healings with them and they'll be like bowing to me. And I'm like, why the hell are the angels bowing to me? They're the angels. And I'm like, oh, yeah, now I know why. So whoever I am is pretty strong and pretty powerful. And I've come here to change your world so that you all can rebuild it. And I get to sit back and watch that happen. Okay? So I've got the tools you need. I just hope people will listen and will utilize them. Well, yeah, I'm stronger than even I thought I was. Like, I'm still processing all of it. And they're still telling me I don't realize how big this last one was. So there's still more realizations to come for that. Okay. So I just hope people listen. I do have great strength. That they called me a warrior when I first had my awakening. They're like, you're a spiritual warrior. And I'm like, okay. I didn't know all of this stuff yet. I didn't know what was coming because I woke up in 2019. Okay. And it was a massive awakening and they were giving me all this information. And I had no idea what it all meant. I didn't know all this stuff was coming yet. But they kept, one of the first things I found out is I was a spiritual warrior. I'm like, oh, okay. And Goddess Athena is in my astral chart. She's like my sister. So I don't know if we're like best friends on the other side. I don't know. But she has been a part of my journey from day one. She's actually in my astrological chart. So before I knew who I was, I had my chart read. And he's like, you're not ready to hear who you are. And I'm like, what? And then Goddess Athena is actually mapped out in my chart. And I said, funny you mentioned her, because when I had my awakening, she literally popped in my third eye and was like, hello? And I'm like, what? And I could see her. I know exactly what she looks like. I can't even tell you what she was wearing. It was a badass leather outfit, let me tell you. Okay, so I always knew I was connected to her too. She's also a warrior. If you look her up, Goddess Athena is a warrior goddess. So am I. The person that did my chart, Gigi, I can't remember his name, but he was through Corinne's group, and he kind of freaked out doing my chart a little bit. Like, he's like, you don't even know who you are. And I'm like, nope. And he's like, stay away from these Facebook pages. And I'm like, now I know why. I'm like, okay. But it was very expensive. It was almost $200 for that reading. And he gave me very little that I didn't already know. So personally, I don't do those anymore, but that is who did my chart reading. And I can't remember his name. He works through her. And then after he discovered who I was, like, he disappeared off YouTube and stuff. And so I don't know where he went. And I can't for the life of me remember his name. But that was my story and my experience in that. But Athena is literally written in my charts. Like, it's really weird. That's not normal. Okay. To have a goddess written in your chart is not normal. None of you will have that. Doesn't mean you won't have different things in your chart, but you definitely won't have a god or a goddess written in your chart. So I've always asked what my connection was with her. I still don't fully know it, but my Akasha record says she's like my sister. However, I really relate to the beginning of time and Atlantis, because we know that's my heart and my flame. I have the white flame, and it was the heart of Atlantis. And so that's all being reborn. And so that's who I really relate to. That's why I know where Atlantis is, beyond a shadow of a doubt. I'm raising it. Okay? These are really good questions. Is there any more? I don't think anybody else had donated. But the reason I did the energies for this week is because, you guys, the work that I did is really, really huge. And you cannot hide from it. Everybody's trying to anchor into a world that no longer will exist for you. And it's about to get painful if you're doing that. Now, those that do the work with me, it's like you're in a different bubble. It just is what it is, because you can't do the work I did and still be with the collective whole. It doesn't work that way. So the ones who did all of these, especially that shadow work workshop, you're ahead of the game. Like you're ahead of everybody else. Okay, so keep that in mind. Okay. Remember they even saying you're like kind of in a protective bubble. Okay, but I do worry about like Amy and anybody else who's not following that and stepping out of fear and letting go of the old world. I worry, I'm not going to lie, because we don't know what's coming our way. Okay? It's like I told my twin flame, we have to be careful what we anchor into. And I've been saying this for 2.5 years. You have to be careful what you anchor into. Because if you try to anchor into an old world, you may not go into the new one. You're trying to hold on to the world you used to know, and you're literally being told evolve or repeat. Evolve or repeat. What does it mean to repeat? You're going to start all over again. Karmic cycle, all over again. So all these hundreds of lifetimes you may have had are going to be wiped out. Everything you gained in knowledge and clarity and ancestors are going to be wiped out. You evolve or you repeat. You start all over. What did they call it? Like a 26,000 year cycle of starting all over. Okay. Like a brand new soul in a whole different world that's like barren and dark. It's not a joke. That's what the return of Christ is all about. That's what Judgment Day is all about. Are you willing to evolve? Or are you going to fall into fear and get the V? Are you going to try to keep anchoring into a world that doesn't exist? Are you going to judge God that's bringing about your ascension right in front of you? Because now that judgment is turning on you, my friends. And I've been warning of this for a long time. That's why I say don't come to my channel and make comments of judgment, because you don't know what you're doing. You're not hurting me. You're hurting you. You don't come and you don't judge anybody, let alone a God that brought about your ascension. Be very careful, because they just said you reap what you sow in a big way. That's Judgment Day. That's what Judgment Day is. It's not like, oh, this person's fucked up. I'm going to punish them. God doesn't work that way. I was a pothead and I made mistakes on my twin flame journey. I didn't listen well. Not at first. That's what hurt me so bad. Okay. Does that mean I don't get to ascend? No, I went through my Judgment Day. My heart was quite clear and I corrected my mistakes in real time. I had to, because that is what cleared the karma for the collective whole all the way back to the beginning of time. Is this making sense? I hope it is. Yeah, bye to Cynthia. I'm pretty much done too, you guys. This was about a 2-hour live, but there's really good information in here. And the funny thing is we shall see who actually takes it and uses it and listens to everything I say, because that is also being noticed. And I can hear it. I can hear them talking about it. I can hear them talking about who's paying attention and who's willing to do the work. Okay. So keep that in mind, you guys. Thank you for those that do always listen and that at least are open to what is happening. That's what it's about. Not being in judgment of self, not being in judgment of others, okay? Or me, because that'll bite you. Either way. All right? Thank you guys for coming. So much love to all of you. Next Sunday is my birthday. So what I do on here, I don't know. It'll be a little special, but I may not do my graduates next Sunday. We're going to see how this goes. Okay? I will be back tomorrow with another great little video. Until then, I'm going to go stay in balance. So much love. Y'all are in a new world. Keep preparing. Bye. Hasta la vista, baby.